You found it, a perfect 2-bedroom apartment in Subiaco with a price guide of $550,000. You've scrimped and saved for that 20% deposit, you've got your pre-approval and you're ready to pull the trigger. But what if I told you that the final number you'll need could be $30,000, $40,000 or even $50,000 more than the sale price? No, that's not an exaggeration. So for many apartment buyers in Perth, the sticker price is just a friendly hello. The real cost, the ones that can completely derail your budget, are hiding in the fine print. That sale price is just the beginning. In this video, we're going to break down the costs of buying an apartment in Perth that you absolutely need to budget for so you don't get any nasty surprises on settlement day. Hi, I'm Simon Atkins, and as a brand new apartment specialist right here in Perth, I've helped hundreds of people get into their own apartment, from first home buyers to seasoned downsizers. And the biggest mistake I see time and time again is underestimating the true cost of actually buying. So people focus so hard on saving the deposit that they forget about the mountain of other fees that comes with the actual purchase. But not you. After this video, you'll walk into your purchase with your eyes wide open and be in total control of your budget. We're going to create a complete roadmap of every single dollar you need to account for beyond that sale price. So let's get into it. First up, without a doubt, the heavyweight champion of hidden costs is stamp duty. Officially now, it's called transfer duty here in Western Australia, and it's the non-negotiable tax that the government charges you for the privilege of putting your name on the title. So it's calculated based on your apartment's value, and frankly, it can be very brutal. However, there is some good news for first home buyers in WA. So as of now, if you're eligible and you buy an apartment for $500,000 or less, you can pay zero stamp duty. Zilch. That's a massive saving that could be worth almost 18 grand. If your apartment is between $500,000 and $1 and $700,000, you'll get a discount. For that $550,000 Subiaco apartment, instead of paying over $20,000 in stamp duty, a first home buyer would pay a much lower concessional rate, saving them thousands. So, but what if you're not a first home buyer? Well, if you are buying a brand new apartment, either pre-construction or during construction, then there's currently very good stamp duty concessions available. On that same $550,000 apartment, you're looking at a stamp duty bill of roughly $20,200. That's a huge chunk of cash you need ready to go on top of your deposit. You can't add this to your loan. It's an upfront, out-of-pocket cost. Always use an online stamp duty calculator to get the exact figure. This is one number that you really don't want to have to wing. You want to get it right. I normally use the REWA one, which is pretty basic to use. Now for the single most misunderstood fee in property, lender's mortgage insurance, or LMI. Let's get one thing crystal clear right from the start. LMI protects the bank, not you. Think of it as an insurance policy the bank takes out on you in case you default on the loan. Okay, but they're charging you the premium. So when do you pay it? Usually kicks in when you borrow more than 80% of the property's value. In other words, your deposit is less than 20%. If you've only saved a 10% deposit for that $550,000 apartment, you'll almost certainly be hit with LMI, and it's not cheap. The premium can be anywhere from 1 to 5% of your total loan, which could add 8 grand to over 20,000 to your costs. The exact amount depends on your loan size and deposit. So you've got two ways to handle this. You can pay it upfront at settlement, or the lender might let you capitalize it, which is a fancy term for adding to your loan total. While that means less cash needed upfront, just remember that you'll be paying interest on that LMI premium for the entire life of your loan, making it way more expensive in the long run. The best way to dodge LMI is to save that 20% deposit, but it's also worth checking out government programs like the First Home Guarantee Scheme, which can help you avoid it. I've also done a video around those types of savings as well. This one is the big lifestyle shift for apartment living. If you're used to renting or living in a house, this is a whole new world. When you buy an apartment, you're not just buying the space inside the four walls. You're buying a share of a building and you're all responsible for it. So strata fees are your contribution to keeping the whole place running. These are usually paid every quarter, and they cover everything from building insurance, cleaning and gardening, to maintaining the lifts, pool, gym and security gates. So how much are they? This is the $1 million question. In Perth, for a standard two-bedder, you could be looking at anything from, let's say, $500 to $1,500 a quarter. A small older complex with no lift or pool might be at the lower end. A new high-rise with resort-style facilities will be much, much more expensive. I've seen strata fees north of three grand plus a quarter for luxury places. But here's the hidden cost inside the hidden cost. The strata report. Before you even think about making an offer, you must get a copy of the strata records professionally reviewed. It'll cost you a few $100s, but it could save you from a financial black hole. This report reveals the financial health of the building. It tells you, does it have a healthy savings account, a reserve fund for the major works like replacing the roof, or are there whispers of a special levy coming where all owners suddenly have to cough up thousands for urgent repairs? A super low strata fee might be tempting, but it can be a massive red flag as well. Buying property involves a amount of complex legal paperwork to get ownership transferred from the seller to you. The whole process is called conveyancing, and you need either a professional conveyancer or a solicitor to handle that part of the process. Their job is to check the contract, run all the necessary legal searches and make sure the title is transferred to you cleanly without any nasty surprises attached. They're the ones talking to your bank and the seller's team to make sure everything lines up for settlement day. In Perth, you can expect to pay between $800 and $2,000 for this service on a standard apartment. This covers their professional time and the cost of all the searches they have to do. So just trust me on this one. This is not the place to save a couple of $100. A good conveyancer is your insurance against very expensive mistakes. One missed detail could actually lead to a legal and financial nightmare for you that costs far more than their fee. All right, quick pause. If you're getting value out of this video and finally starting to see the full picture of your budget, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. We're only halfway through, and you don't want to miss the costs that catch almost every single Perth buyer off guard. Surprise, surprise, the bank lending you hundreds of thousands of dollars has some fees of its own. These are totally separate from the loan interest and need to be factored into your upfront cost. First, you'll probably have a loan application or establishment fee, which is pretty standard. This is a one-off charge for setting up your mortgage, and it can run anywhere from zero, if they have a special offer on, for example, up to around $600. Next, the bank needs to make sure that the apartment is actually worth what you're agreeing to pay for it. They'll order a property valuation, and guess who pays for it? You do. That's typically between $300 and $500. Finally, there are government charges. Your mortgage has to be officially registered on the property's title with Landgate, WA's land authority. This is what legally records the bank's interest in your property. The mortgage registration fee is currently about $216. It's a small fee, but hey, they all add up. Here's a cost that trips up so many apartment buyers. People assume their quarterly strata fees cover all the property's bills. Wrong. Your strata fees do not include your council rates or your water rates. These are completely separate bills, much like stamp duty, that you have to pay yourself. Council rates go to your local government, City of Perth, City of Vincent, etc., for services like bin collection, parks, roads, libraries, and so on. So for a typical apartment, expect this to be somewhere between $1,800 and $2,500 a year. Water rates are paid to the water corporation. This will be likely around another $1,000 to $1,500 per year, plus what you actually use. So on top of your strata fees, you need to budget for another $3,000 to around $4,000 a year, which works out to be about $60 to $80 a week just for these two essential services. This is the cost that is most overlooked and catches nearly everyone by surprise. When you buy an apartment, the seller will already have prepaid the council rates, water rates and strata levies for the current quarter or year. Because you'll own the property for the rest of that period, you have to reimburse the seller for your share. Let's say you settle exactly halfway through a quarter and the seller has already paid a $900 strata bill and a $600 council rates bill. Your settlement agent will calculate the daily rate and you'll have to pay the seller back for the days that you own the apartment. In this example, you'd owe them half, $450 for strata and $300 for the council. You'll see this on your final bill from your conveyancer labelled as adjustments, and it can easily add another $1,000 or $2,000 to your final figure. So just make sure that you budget for that one. So hey, you've done it, you've paid for everything, you have the keys, but you're not done spending money yet. You still have to actually move in. So hiring removalists in Perth can cost anywhere from $400 to $1,000 for a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment, depending on how much stuff that you have. Then you have to connect your utilities. Some electricity retailers connect you for free if you book ahead, but otherwise you'll be charged a fee. Gas and internet providers almost always have a connection or activation fee, which could be another $100 to $300 all up. Don't forget little things like mail redirection as well, because that all adds up. Be smart, and I'd set aside at least $1,000 to $1,500 just for the logistics of moving day. So there you have it, the 8 hidden costs that can add tens of thousands of dollars to your Perth apartment purchase. Let's do a quick recap. Stamp duty, LMI, strata fees, legal fees, bank fees, council and water rates, settlement and adjustments, and your moving costs. By knowing these costs exist, you can plan for them and build them into your savings goal from day one. Buying property is a massive financial step for anyone, but it doesn't have to be a blind one. Armed with this knowledge, you can create a realistic budget, dodge the nasty surprises, and buy your Perth apartment with total and complete confidence. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.